Hello everyone, welcome to DotNetMirror channel. Today we are diving into the future of cloud native development. We are going to walk through the complete process of setting up your .NET Aspire environment, including the installation of .NET SDK, Visual Studio, and Docker. If you are not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe the channel so you don't miss any of our deep dives into .NET and Azure. In this video, we will start by installing the essential .NET SDK, then move on to configuring our IDEs, both Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. Finally, we'll set up an OCA compliant runtime Docker desktop to handle our containerized resources. Let's understand what is an Aspire. Before we install the tools, what exactly is .NET Aspire? It's an opinionated cloud-ready stack built on .NET. As we know, it is a free, open source, and cross-platform framework. Aspire is specially designed for building modern cloud services and can run applications targeting .NET 8 or later. Aspire also can run containers using several OCA compliant runtimes, including Docker Desktop, Podman, and Rancher Desktop. As a part of setup and tooling, first up is the foundation. It's a .NET SDK. For the better experience, you will want the latest long-term support version. As of early 2026, that is .NET 10, head over to the official .NET download page, grab 10.0 SDK installer and run it. Once you finished, open your terminal and type .NET version. If you see a version like 10.0.102, you are good to go and .NET SDK is installed. Once you set up the SDK, now it's time for the IDE Visual Studio 2026. It remains the powerhouse for enterprise C# development. During the installation, make sure that you check ASP.NET Web Development. Inbuilt, it comes with Aspire apps. This ensures you will have all the orchestration tools ready out of the box. When it comes to VS Code as an IDE, if you prefer a lightweight cross-platform experience, Visual Studio Code is a fantastic choice for cloud-native microservices. To turn it into true Aspire IDE, install the C# and Aspire extension. This gives you access to powerful commands for creating Aspire projects, adding integrations, and even deploying your apps directly. You could use either Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code to start developing your Aspire apps. Once the SDK setup is done, you have your IDEs. Make sure you have OCA compliant runtime. Because Aspire orchestrates containers, you need an OCA compliant runtime. Docker Desktop is the most powerful choice for developers. However, if you prefer open source alternative, Podman is the fully supported. You can even use Rancher Desktop, though it is not officially tested for all Aspire scenarios. In your machine, if you want to set Podman or Docker as a default one, go and set environment variable called aspire underscore container underscore runtime. You can run this command in the PowerShell. When it comes to installing Aspire CLI, for those who love the command line, let's install the Aspire CLI. This tool helps you to create and manage your apps with the ease. Run this PowerShell command to install it. Once it is done, validate by typing Aspire version. Once you get a version number, now your environment is truly complete. Now you can start developing Aspire apps. Now let me show you how to install .NET SDK, Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio, and Docker Desktop. The content which I'm talking over here, you can go to Aspire Dev documentation. You can go to setup and tooling. Whatever I'm talking over here, everything is available here. You can follow these steps as well. To install Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code, go to visualstudio.microsoft.com/downloads. You can pick up Visual Studio Community Professional Enterprise based on your need. Either you can install Visual Studio Code as well. You can grab from here, download and install. I have a video on Visual Studio Code Community Edition installation. I will provide the link in the description. If you are looking for open source lightweight, you can go with Visual Studio Code as well. Once the IDE is available, make sure you go and install Docker Desktop. Let me download. Select AMD 64. Docker Desktop takes some time to download and install. Meanwhile, if you are preferring Podman, you can download this as well or Rancher Desktop. Once the Docker Desktop is downloaded, I will install and show you how to configure a container. To download .NET SDK, go to dotnet.microsoft.com. Pick up latest version of .NET version. Currently it is 10.0.5. You can go and download the version which you want. For Windows, you can go and download x64. Once you download and install, you can start running the Aspire apps. .NET 10 SDK is prerequisite to run the Aspire apps. Now going back, our Docker desktop is installed. Let's close this. Let's open Docker. Accept the agreement. It is asking for login details. You can register or you can use Google or GitHub. I'll skip this for now. Now our Docker desktop is up and running. Let's go and run one of the containers. So this is the command which will basically pull the image and start the container. So let me copy this. Now I grab the command. Let me run this command. So it says the image is not locally available. So it is trying to pull the image. Once the image is pulled, it will create a container and run our SQL server as a container. Now if you see here, the image is pulled. Now it is installed. Let's go to Docker desktop. Yeah. Now if you refresh here in the images, SQL Server image is available and this image is running like a container. With this SQL Server running locally within your container, now you can grab your endpoint and credentials, start using it. Okay, from the Visual Studio, if you want to develop Aspire apps, create a new project. Yeah, you can go for Aspire templates. Here you can select Aspire. Now we can start developing Aspire application. So I have created a video where I have created an Aspire app with SQL Server within the Docker desktop. I will provide the link in the description. In this way, you can go and develop your Aspire apps from the Visual Studio. When it comes to Visual Studio Code, let's open it. To work on the Aspire apps within Visual Studio Code, go to extensions. Make sure you download C# extension. This is already installed. So let's go to Aspire. Now click on install button. Once this is installed, you can go and start developing your Aspire apps. To do that, go to command palette. Now just say Aspire. Now it says create new Aspire project and all. You can follow the steps and start creating Aspire apps from the Visual Studio Code as well. Let's go back to the Visual Studio. Yeah, within the Visual Studio, our Aspire application is created. I have a video on this as well. You can go and watch. So if you run this particular application, your Aspire will up and running within the Visual Studio. Now if you see here, our Aspire app is up and running. Yeah, now if you look at here, both the applications are running. You can go and browse the services. Now if you see here, this particular application, the front end is running via your Aspire dashboard. In this way, you can go and add the containerized SQL Server to your app services and start integrating with your application. If you are looking to develop Aspire based apps via CLI, go and grab this particular command and install it, and you can start developing Aspire apps via CLI as well. With this, we are done with the demo. Up next, I'll be creating more videos on app host and service defaults. We will deep dive into Aspire dashboard. We will try to create different integration services like caching with Redis. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this setup guide helpful, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. Click on the bell icon to get more updates from our channel .NET Mirror. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.